Imagine walking into Fumio Sasaki's tiny Tokyo apartment, bare walls, only a mattress on the floor, a single shirt hanging in the closet. It's not a picture of deprivation. It's a radical choice, a deliberate emptying that opens up space for freedom and focus. But how did a regular guy, stressed and trapped in comparison, get here? What made him say goodbye to everything he didn't absolutely need, and what happened next? Stick around, because this story flips everything you think about stuff on its head. Sasaki's journey starts in a familiar mess, an overwhelming flood of things that steal his peace. But that chaos becomes the key to unlocking something unexpected. Before minimalism, Sasaki's Tokyo apartment was stuffed with books, gadgets, gifts he never used, you name it. Each item added invisible chains of obligation and stress. He'd buy stuff to keep up with friends, but the pile only grew, and so did the pressure. Living in that clutter wasn't just inconvenient, it was exhausting his mental energy every single day. Think of belongings like a second skin, every shirt, every trinket, another layer you carry through life. At first, dropping things felt like shedding that skin, awkward, almost naked, but soon it turned into a relief. Sasaki describes it as a warm breeze against bare arms, the sensation of breaking free from weight you didn't realize you carried for years. With just a few essentials left, Sasaki noticed a surprising shift. His mind cleared, goals sharpened. Freedom isn't about owning everything, it's about owning less but loving what remains. He found he wasn't tied to possessions but liberated by their absence, creating space not just in rooms but in his entire life. Sasaki reveals minimalism isn't a one-time spree. It's a ritual, a habit that rewires how you see your stuff and yourself. At first, Sasaki made a brutal inventory. Every item faced the question, do I need this or is it just noise? Even his favorite books had to prove their worth. This wasn't about tossing randomly but about intentional decisions. One tattered novel stayed because it reminded him of a late-night Tokyo subway ride, turning objects into memories, not clutter. This deliberate process is like tasting a fine wine rather than gulping a beer. When you own fewer things, you savor each one's quality and meaning. Sasaki compares it to eating a single grape slowly instead of a whole bunch mindlessly. Every possession must justify its spot in your life or it's out. The payoff? Gratitude. Instead of chasing novelty, each kept possession becomes a treasure. Sasaki found that minimalism grew a deep appreciation for what remained. Gratitude didn't come from acquiring, but from consciously choosing what deserved his care and attention, transforming his attitude from scarcity to abundance. Sasaki wasn't chasing Instagram-worthy aesthetics. His goal? Real change. Minimalism unlocked unexpected powers beyond just a tidy space. Once Sasaki stripped down to essentials, stress evaporated. No more wrestling with what to wear, where to put things, or comparing his stuff to others. Life's endless decision web untangled into a handful of daily choices. This simplicity didn't just calm his physical space, it rewired his brain away from constant anxiety. With clutter gone, Sasaki describes his focus sharpening to a laser. Tasks that once felt overwhelming became manageable. Like clearing fog from a window, fewer distractions meant he could pursue what mattered with far more intensity, achieving more by doing less. But here's the kicker, minimalism heightened his joy in everyday moments. Drinking tea became a ritual, not a habit. Looking at empty shelves wasn't bleak but calming. He found happiness not in stuff but in the quiet richness of his day-to-day experience, revealing minimalism's true magic isn't what you lose but what you gain. Remember that quiet Tokyo apartment from the start? Sasaki's minimalist space wasn't about cold deprivation but about fierce freedom, a choice to live deeply with less noise. You don't need to ditch everything tomorrow, but try this. Pick one small category, a drawer, a shelf, and ask yourself, do I really need this? Start your own ritual of goodbye. Watch how that tiny step begins to clear space, not just in your home, but in your mind and life. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.